with his game?
Benny?
Yeah.
Look what he had. He was okay. Benny was okay. He's been a handy addition since he's come back on the side, which was this is his second game back after missing probably 7 or 8 or 6 or 7.
You wouldn't want to lose any more running defenders, I would imagine.
Are we questioning or is commenting?
There's no issue with his shoulder when it came off.
What are you asking me? I don't know what you're asking me.
I was just following up from the
No,
previous question.
Ben's fine.
No.
Ben's fine.
How'd you rate that performance?
I thought we were good early, and I thought that they were terrific in the second half. They're going to be a very, very good football side, and they are a good football side now. They just lack the experience that goes with playing a lot of AFL football, and they're when you look at the size of them. And I'm not talking about Ablett and Bock and Brennan and these sort of blokes. We all know what they're like. I'm talking about blokes like Bennell and Lynch, McKenzie, Shaw, Smith, Swallow, Thompson, etc. I missed out on a couple. They are fantastic body shapes to put 5, 6, maybe 10 kilos on over the next 12 months, 24 months. Added to the fact that they'll play another, this time next year, perhaps 10 to 20 games. Some of them will play all games. Then they're starting to look like those players that should be playing, and automatically you just think of them playing AFL football, and you couple with that with the other players that are in the side. They are going to be a very good football side. They're extremely well coached. The methodology that Guy undertook last year needs to be applauded. He was with them every second of the day and every second that they played, so therefore he knew the player he had. He understood the mechanics of the player, and he's been able to tailor what I can see, and I speak to Blue very frequently. He tailor makes their training and the game style around to improve them. So stand by, that's all I've got to say.
Did they surprise you tonight? Or did you
No, not at all. I'd be very lax in my job if I was surprised the way they played, because that means I've done nothing over the last week in analysing our opponents, and I would give full respect to anyone that you've got to have in this game to understand your opponent and work with your opponent and see how he goes. Fortunately, I know Bluey, but I really needed to have a close look, I suppose, right up close at the way they play this ground. And between now and the end of the year, I think they've still got to play every game, which is 6 more games, and they all have ups and downs and this sort of stuff. But I think they're on an exciting path. I repeat, coached very well, very good structure, sound game plan. Something to look forward to, I'd say.
Mick, we see the Suns a lot, and they tend to, when they're in good form, play really well for a half and then drop off, and it's because they're young. But they seem to improve in the second half. Did your side take the foot off the pedal a little bit?
No. They being the Gold Coast, ran the game out better than, well, level with us. We the last half, my reckoning, -2 and +2s, that equals level. We couldn't get clear, and they did. And when we got clear, they couldn't hold us. So it was 6 goals something apiece, 6 goals, well, thereabouts apiece. So I think we just take too much away from the workload and the capabilities of our opponents. First and foremost is that none of those players would have got games unless they were earning the games. And we're the same. Regardless of who you got in or out of the side, you're playing a player to perform at his optimum. And their run and their carry and their belief and their enthusiasm was terrific in the second half for them. I'm not here to pump up the Gold Coast, in case you haven't noticed. It's Guy's job. But I think that we we had a very good late first, or midway through the first, and had a good 28 minutes of the second quarter. And from there on in, it was an arm wrestle, and full credit to them.
You don't think there was any drop-off in intensity from your boys?
No, I don't.
Mick, how soon do you see them becoming a force for the Gold Coast?
I think historically, I'll repeat again. The Ablets and the senior players, we know their capabilities, and they're quite extreme. They're very, very good. Historically, players like Smith, for instance, at his size, will fluctuate in form and in output for probably 2 or 3 years. Blokes like Swallow, Mackenzie, etc., those type of players, they'll mature much more quickly because they're closer to the ground players. They're a bit more agility. They've probably got a body weight that's not far off their main weight. Whereas the taller blokes, and Lynch to that matter as well, they will mature over 3 or 4 seasons. So I think that you'll see a vast improvement next year, but year 3 and year 4, when they've got those 20 plus, or say 15 to 20 games a year under their belt, that's the time when you see the best of, say, Pendlebury and Thomas and Harry O'Brien and Heath Shaw and so forth. So they're the same type of size, whereas Cameron Wood, I think Cameron Wood played well tonight, but he's still feeling his way, and yet he's been in the system 6 years. So that'll give you some idea. I'm not speaking for the Gold Coast and speaking generically. That's what takes place, and because you've got a very good young side. So Fasolo will develop reasonably quickly, but he will go up and down, and we'll be able to replace him. Gold Coast, you need to keep him out there because you won't have added senior players, and nor you need, because these kids will start to take more and more responsibility. So there won't be a long term. It won't be a lot of pain, I don't think. I think you're going to have a lot of, if you're a Gold Coast, they're going to have a lot of success coming up. And when I say a lot of success, it's still going to beat sides, and you're going to have your ups and downs, and you're going to have injuries, and you're going to have momentum swings and so forth. But they'll, by sheer nature, kids will get better.
Mick, how did you see the ruck tonight? Obviously with Darren Jolly, I hope him to come back next week, no doubt. I mean, is there room for Keith and Wood as well, or was one of them had to miss out of Jolly?
Oh no, if Darren Jolly, if he comes in, one's got to go. Simple fact of life. Hit-outs 37 each. I thought Cameron Wood did very well tonight. That's probably the best he's played this year in the ruck. He's been good around the ground beforehand, but I thought he played very well in the ruck today. He didn't give... There was a couple of freebies, I suppose, and that happens with the bounce of the ball, but by and large, he was quite active around the ground and gave us a chance. Because the midfield at Gold Coast is outside of Swallow, is generally one of experience, and their clearance rate is high. In AFL standards, maybe 1 or 2. And we needed to address that, and I thought Cameron Wood was fairly good.
Is Lachlan Keefe likely to get a run in the ruck later?
Oh, he may do, but he may do.
Any aspect that I've had you with tonight, obviously only 6 weeks from the finals, you said you're looking for your team to work on to improve.
Oh, we can nitpick coaches nitpick. I'll nitpick. I'll go through this, and we'll find a variety of errors. If there's a common theme to it, then we'll address it. If it's an individual one, I'll talk to the player, and he needs to probably look at that. But by and large, what you look for now is more the common error that may be committed by the side that we need to address. So sometimes entrance is inside 50. We went in there 78 times. Now that's for a good football side, and I think we're a good football side. We've gone 34, not even 50% strike rate. So that's pretty poor.